Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a review slash comparison on 2-year-old models of both the Samsung tablets and the iPad. iPad Pro 12.9 inch and Samsung Galaxy Tab S4. Both of them I've been using for, I want to say, the past year and a half with the Tab S4, about 6 months with the iPad. Now, both of them have been wonderful devices. There's a little bit of a difference when it comes to processing. You've got the Snapdragon 835 with 4 gigabytes of RAM on this one, and then the A12X Bionic chip with 4 gigabytes of RAM as well on the iPad. You're only going to get about 60 Hz refresh rate with the Tab S4, so there's a little bit of a downside there if you want some smoothness. But the iPad is going to give you that 120 Hz refresh rate, which makes just everything look a lot prettier. Some other differences that you're going to see are the software capabilities. So with the Samsung Tab S4, you do get something called Samsung DeX, which really helps if you're looking for more of a multitasking purpose for your tablet. If you're doing multiple things at once, you can actually pull up different applications all running at the same time in Windows, very similar to a desktop computer. So if you're going to be using it in that manner as a desktop or laptop replacement, that is definitely one huge benefit of the Samsung Tab S4 over the iPad. Now with the iPad, you can do the multi-window, which makes things a little bit easier. You can transfer files between the two. And with the Magic Keyboard, you get a little bit more benefit. With that, you get the trackpad. You can plug in a mouse to the Tab S4, but it's not as easy as using that trackpad on the iPad. So some of the differences that you're going to see with the Samsung and with the iPad when it comes to their pencils are, number one, the Tab S4 does include the Samsung S Pen in the box. That comes with interchangeable nibs. Whether you want the harder style or more of the softer style to give you that grippy feel. That'll be up to you personally. I prefer the harder style combined with a matte screen protector. I did have one for a while, but it wasn't the best matte screen protector, so I did end up taking it off. I would prefer it on my iPad, just because the pencil gives you more, it just feels more solid in your hands. While it doesn't have those 5,000 pressure points, in fact, Apple doesn't really say exactly how many pressure points are in there. I've had a pretty good experience with it drawing. It doesn't really feel like a big difference between the two when it comes to that amount of pressure, but just having that actual rating from Wacom is very nice with the tablet, with the S Pen. I will say though, this pencil does feel a lot better. It feels more premium, whereas this feels kind of light, kind of like you could kind of snap it in half a little bit. So that is a big worry. Now, one other benefit though to the iPad and the Apple Pencil is that you have that magnetic attachment with that pencil. With the Tab S4, while it comes with the pen, unless you buy something like their keyboard case, which has the pen holder in it, you're going to be kind of hanging on to that yourself, or leaving it in a certain designated place. It's harder to find and easier to lose compared to the iPad, but generally I will say that both styluses are pretty equal when it comes to usability. One other benefit of the iPad over the Samsung Tab S4 is going to be the app availability. With the iPad, you're going to have things such as Adobe Premiere Rush, Adobe Photoshop available on the iPad, where those apps aren't to their fullest extent that they could be on the Tab S4. You do have Lightroom, which is a nice photo editing app. You do have some other drawing apps such as Autodesk Sketchbook that are compatible on both. But if you're looking to do something like video editing, it's going to be a little bit harder to find those professional multi-layering editing apps with the Tab S4. Unfortunately, I don't know why. Premiere Rush says it's available on the marketplace, but not for the Tab S4. Don't know why. We're gonna have to ask them about that, but It is definitely a slight disappointment with the Tab S4. Now, both of them do feature the Type-C for the charge port. The iPad comes with an 18-watt fast charger, whereas the Samsung Tab S4 only comes with a 5-watt charger. Now, I will say you can use the 18-watt fast charger that comes with something such as the Note or the S20 to fast charge your Samsung Tab S4. That is definitely a nice benefit to it, but you do have to buy that separately. Now, another thing when it comes to body style, with the iPad, you get the all-around metal design, which is very nice durability-wise, especially considering the Tab S4 has a glass back. This always makes me worried anytime I'm taking it anywhere. I don't know why they did that. They definitely moved away from it in their newer models, but that's something you do have to keep in mind if you are going to get the Tab S4. It's a little bit less durable than the iPad, but you guys have heard of Bendgate, assuming or some of the iPads were coming in slightly bent or misshaped. So you do kind of have that worry as well, something to think about. Both devices, I easily transfer files between, especially Samsung to Samsung. You've got Samsung Flow, which just helps easily wirelessly move over files between your Samsung phone and your Samsung tablet. You're also going to get stuff like messaging communication, so you'll get your messages from your Samsung phone on your Samsung tablet. One reason why I actually prefer using my iPad more so than my Samsung is that I do have that separation as more of a business tablet compared to one that I use mainly for drawing and less for stuff like heavy editing and a heavier workflow on the iPad. Now again, both of them do have decent processors, Snapdragon 835, A12X Bionic. I just feel like with Apple's software, you get a little bit more benefits when it comes to battery life, benefits when it comes to prioritization with your apps and where the power is going towards. So that is definitely a big benefit. Now, both of the devices, if you're like watching videos, they do have quad firing speakers. So if you're somebody who likes to, again, watch a lot of videos, you like to watch Netflix, both devices with the iPad's wide color gamut and the OLED display on the Samsung Tab S4, you're going to have a wonderful experience all around. Obviously, this iPad is going to be a little bit bigger than the 10.5-inch Tab S4. However, when it comes to movie watching experience, generally 10 inches is a pretty nice size. If you're on the go, it's not going to get in the way of anything. But yeah, both devices are wonderful in 2020. Like I said, I've been using the iPad mainly for the past 6 months, but I have used the Tab S4 here and there. I will say I do notice choppiness, but that could very well just be the lack of the 120Hz refresh rate, as I have that both on my phone and the iPad. So it could be me just preferring the 120Hz refresh rate over the 60Hz refresh rate on the Tab S4, but yeah, they still work beautifully, and the flow with each of them is amazing. You're gonna get a little bit longer update support for the iPad. That's just generally how it works. They try and keep the tablets updated, pretty much everything updated for as long as they can. Unfortunately, with Android, you're only going to get about 2 years of updates. So I'm not expecting to get Android 10 on this tablet, whereas something like the Tab S5, the Tab S6, and most likely the Tab S7 are gonna have that Android 10 availability. So better software support, better battery support in that software. So that is definitely something to think about if you are gonna think about purchasing either of the two. Again, I highly recommend both of them, more so the iPad over the Samsung Tab S4, but again, it's not a bad buy whatsoever. Still recommend it. The iPad will just feel a little bit more futuristic because it has those things such as the 120Hz refresh rate, continued software support, and the more professional apps. And say more app availability through the iPad. But yeah, I definitely recommend both of them. Tell me which ones you guys would choose between the two today, if you were to pick them up. I kind of want to know that in the comments. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Hit like, share, subscribe, ring the bell if the bell's even there. I don't know. I've only made 2 videos, so who knows when the next one's gonna be up. So make sure you're notified. But yeah, thanks for watching. You guys have a great one. Actually, click my last video. It's gonna be right up here. I reviewed some Galaxy Buds versus some Wish Galaxy Buds. If you guys wanna check that out. You guys have a wonderful day. See you next time, all right? Peace.